Self-acceptance is always the solution, and it is the solution to every difficulty, every challenge that you've experienced in your life. And typically, that is the last place that we look is self-acceptance because who we are is something that's very unique. And we come into the world, and that's what we have to figure out. And at times, that becomes really challenging. It can be, depending on the life that you've lived, but it was really challenging for me. But today I'm going to take that self-acceptance. That's a message that's on my site, Any Advice for Today, and you can read it there. I do those every day. I started doing that in 1988, to be precise. And for many, many years, I didn't tell anybody what I was doing because it didn't make sense to me. See, I was accessing other information that was giving me guidance, that was causing me to understand and heal my life. So let me tell you one thing that happened yesterday, which also prompted me to do this video because nothing happens accidentally in our lives or in the world. I received a text message from my friend. He's in a different state, thousands of miles away, and he says, it's been all day. I can't get rid of this headache. It says it's been the entire day. And I knew exactly what it was because I know his history and I knew I could heal it. I knew I could send him energy because we are all energy. We just learn how to channel that and do different things with it. And so I said, half hour, give me a half hour. I'll work on it. And that's what I did. And I sent him some energy. And then half hour later, I receive another text message. Wow. And he's laughing. And then he calls. He goes, "What happened?" I go, "I told you that's what would happen. It would be a half hour. I knew that that would occur." We have more power in our minds than we can possibly imagine. And this is not something that I created yesterday. It's something I've been doing for a really long time, but also something that I couldn't accept. That is the difficulty that we have, accepting the gifts and the things that we came to bring to the world. Because what I know is that every single person has those. But we also have different times in our world that may be very challenging, which is the time that we're living in now. Then the other thing that happened, I had a follow-up appointment with my doctor yesterday, and I do this all the time because I've lived a life where I've gone through so many physical ailments, diseases, sicknesses, accidents. I mean, a slew of them. So I'm always checking. My doctor is always checking things. I know I'm absolutely fine because I've transcended all of that. That is called alchemy as well. We can do that with our bodies when we understand that mind-body connection. And this is what I've worked on my entire life. I've shared a picture often about these papers that I've done. 36 years of sitting down every day and receiving information, writing it down, and healing my life. And so the doctor is saying, "How old are you again?" I said, "I'm 73." And that doesn't seem possible with everything you've gone through. It is possible. We can heal anything, we can change anything, including our planet. And that's what I'm talking about. So then, in several years ago, I received an information that was reminding me of who I was. That's the same for all of us. We have dreams, we have ideas, we have things that come to us that we're meant to do in this world, but sometimes that doesn't make sense. And I'm going to share this one, and because you'll appreciate it. And it was in, oops, sorry, 19, that's the wrong place. It was, sorry, let me get it. Let me get you to give it the correct thing. It was this. And what's the date there? It was, yeah, December 8th, 2018. That's really interesting. While Roger finds writing this message somewhat difficult for him, he also knows it will help all of you who choose to accept its wisdom. Several months ago, Roger discovered a dream he had written in 2005. The discovery of this writing seemed mysterious to him, but now it makes sense. He could not believe what he had written until now. You all have dreams of varying natures and degrees, but because they are personal to you, you have difficulty believing what you are receiving or the validity of the dream itself. We have asked Roger to transcribe what he received, and those of you who are intended to receive its content will do so. The appearance of this dream was there were several spiritual leaders of sorts in a group, in a circle, and we were asked who would do something and I ran forward. It seemed that I volunteered while at the same time thinking, why did it need to be me? I seem to be in a conflict as to whether or not I will continue to listen, be open without the pain, or go back to my old ways, which was sort of the indication with me seeing an old friend yesterday. I ask for guidance and clarity. There's still a part of me that thinks the experience isn't real on some level and I could put it away, while a stronger part knows that is not the case. Now, the funny part about that is that I did put it away. See, I wrote that in 2005 and then I said, no, I can't do this. And I put it in a folder and I stuck it in a closet. And that friend who called me about the headache, who texted me about the headache yesterday, was the person who went into my closet and found that dream, brought it out, and handed it to me and said, here, catch up. See, because that's what we all do. We have these ideas, these visions, things we're meant to do in this world, and that could be what causes our lives to become better if we can accept that. And then also, it is what will change our world. And that's the most important thing that I'm talking about now. Because, see, when I was told I was given this information to help us through this transition, which I've called a restructuring, that's the information I received. But I also know it's an ascension. It's an individual ascension that every person on the planet is moving through. Whether you know it or not, you'll feel it because you'll see things happening in the world. And I know that this particular year in 2024, we're going to have much more of that, and it's going to look a little chaotic. And it's especially going to look a little chaotic in the United States, as I've been saying for a while. However, when you come to accept yourself, that's an act of love. And that changes everything. See, because I was told that we were going to move through this period and what we were going to witness in our lives and in the world are all the old ideas, beliefs, and limited restrictions and judgments and hatred that were going to all come to the surface. But see, that's a really good thing because we can't change it if we aren't looking at it. But what we do a lot of times is we hide. And that's what I was doing. I was hiding. And so this morning, also, one of the members in my program put a video in the group about alchemy. And it's a wonderful presentation talking about how we all change in our consciousness, because that's all that it is. Then understanding that we do that collectively, that's what's occurring in our world right now. But if we begin to accept ourselves, that's the greatest act of love we could do for ourselves, and it's the one that we can then put into the world. And that's what will cause this transition of the world, the restructuring, to become what we want it to be, meaning a world where we love ourselves and others. And that's the work that I'm doing. But now I've got to take that next step as well as everyone else. I've talked about this so much, but this is especially for members in my program because they know that I have so much more that we're going to do and add in there because you don't change your consciousness overnight. We don't evolve or ascend overnight. It takes time because we have to use linear time. When I receive messages, it's not based on linear time. And that was something that I had to come to accept because it was very difficult to understand how I could have received information, changed my life, and that of so many others. And I can say that because the results of that have already been shown, and you can listen to the people who've done this work. And I had to come to the belief and acceptance that the first part in my program, the 4 weeks to your best life, that's the first part of the entire thing. But that first part, that is something that is less than $500 and it's changed the lives of people in ways that I could not believe, ways that I did not know. But now I know what's going on and I know the potential that this has, and all I have to do is accept myself and then guide others to accept who they are. Then they have great lives and we have a very different world. And that's the mission that I'm on. See you guys soon.